It has got to be Wednesday. We have got to be back with another edition of SBS Live This week. But something's different. It's almost like you can hear the gentle rustling of oh yeah, brutal power metal kicking ass in the wind. And if you do hear that, it's probably from this band that we have this week here in the studio, which is Aeterna. Absolutely kick-ass metal band. These are players that know how to play, and we're absolutely stoked to have them here on the show. All I knew about them so far was basically that, you know, first of all, they slay live. I've seen that, and I've said it. In addition to that, I knew that lead singer Ruddy has got a lot of things to say, and not only that, he's got an incredible in-depth knowledge of the genre itself. So I'm extremely excited to talk to him and the rest of the crew from Aeterna and really see what's going on with this new album. I want to see just how this band interacts. I want to see kind of just what the inner mechanics that make a brutal power metal sound come out of a band like this. You've got to see what I've seen to believe it. They have put down an absolutely stunning performance for you guys here in the studio, and they're doing so again in town here in Vancouver on February 22nd at Funky Winker Beans. So you're definitely going to want to see that if you like what you see here on SBS Live This week. We are absolutely stoked to have you guys, Aeterna, here with us today. We got Mike, we got Brad, we got Ruddy, we got Cameron, we got Alex. So I like to jump right into it. I like to talk about the music. Tell me about brutal power metal.
That's a good question.
Something to think about.
I mean, you guys are stamping it down out there as this is what it is, defined as. So
Who
tell
came
me
up
about
with this subgenre?
Ruddy. Was it me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, man, I do.
How was you?
Don't I?
You talk about it.
absolutely falls on you.
Yeah, you know what? Brutal power metal came from power grind, which was a term that a friend and I came up with about 10 years ago. We started combining power metal and brutal death grind.
Right.
And seeing as that guy's not here anymore, just didn't really seem right to use the same thing. So brutal power metal sounds incredibly confusing, very funny.
It was good on a beer koozie, right?
Extremely contradictory, yeah, and it looks great with alcohol.
Yeah.
So there you go.
You guys have just finished off an EP after a hiatus for about an entire year.
Yeah.
So what did you guys achieve as a band once you guys had finished that EP? What's going on now?
Finally released music that had been sitting for about 2 years. The first 4 tracks on that EP were recorded back in 2010.
Right.
With Cam, myself, and Mike being pretty much the sole musicians on it.
Okay.
There was some guitar solos from our other guitar player.
Right.
But other than that, it was just us 3.
Past life.
Yeah.
So on.
Past life.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys are moving on now. You guys are working on a new album. I saw you guys put a new song on Facebook or something the other day.
Well, there's 4 songs on the EP that were recorded in 2010. One of the songs was recorded with all of us.
Okay.
That was recorded, this year?
The end of
2011. Sorry, I meant 2012 or 2011.
End of 2011, 2012.
Be specific.
Okay. December.
Yes, it has to be
December
a month.
2011 to January 2012.
I thought he was going to get to the minute at least. I mean, we said specific.
Yeah,
right?
come on, man.
Yeah.
Really.
First week of December.
Let's get this down here.
I know it was a Thursday and a Friday. Friday.
This is so interesting to the viewers at home right now.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
And we're not going
This
to
is
cut
gold.
a single thing.
No.
Nothing at all.
No.
Okay, so you guys have got a show coming up on February 22nd, right?
With the almighty excruciating pain.
Is that what? I mean, what is this? This is another band that's on the bill, or this is what you guys are going to bring?
Oh, these are the headliners, and these boys bring it.
Okay.
I know this is supposed to be an interview about us, but the almighty excruciating pain are one fantastic group of fellas.
Okay, well, tell me about that. I mean, if you guys are up against something like that in a night, like, how do you guys compete with something like that?
You don't.
No. Really?
You just take
You're
your
going
loss.
in surrendering. I don't believe that from you guys. It's not what I've read.
Not
It's not a matter of surrendering. No, it's just like they bring something different. They're I don't know. Patrick's humor.
It's
like
Patrick, man.
Yeah.
It's that is
Patrick
one.
and Daniel.
Yeah.
Those are two fantastic men.
Yeah.
I would go there.
Just can't beat it.
I would absolutely go there. Patrick, if you're watching. Yeah. What?
Well, this will probably lead in
come on,
nicely to this next
okay.
question.
Patrick, that was the one, right?
Well,
How serious do you guys take yourselves as a band? Like, I mean, obviously there's a good attitude here.
yeah.
But I mean, it's represented in a, that kind of dark, obviously, genre. So, I mean, how serious does it get?
In terms of how seriously we take the music, or
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think we take it pretty seriously. We don't mess around with practice. Well, when we practice.
Okay.
But we're very serious about making the music the best it can be. On my end, basically all I do is the lyrics and most of the melodies, and sometimes lyrics will take 6 months before they're done.
Right.
I'm sure
I have a lineup of
you've put a few
songs
minutes
that-
into your music.
Yeah.
These little one acts you write.
Well, none of these parts are uncomplicated.
Yeah,
It
it's
doesn't
good
matter
way how to
from
kill time.
any perspective of any of the members of your band. You guys have all got complicated parts, so this stuff's got to be taking some time to write.
But put together as a whole, it all becomes very melodic and catchy, and there's still stuff to hold on to. It's not just super technical all the time, and then what did I just listen to?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty much on record as not being a full metal guy. So, thank you again for giving me your time to get today, guys, and not beating on me. But I love also sharing first experiences. Now, when I saw you guys live the first time, awesome, first of all. But second of all, when you guys started playing Beyond the Gods, song title correct?
Yep.
All right, cool. My wife turns to me and she looks at me and she says, "This is Baby making music."
People are fucking
Something.
Right before you hit her in the face with the rest of the song. What's that like? I mean, compliment? What do you think of that? Is that representative
That's a
of
huge
what you're putting out there?
compliment.
I gotta have a pack of
No.
Rolaids over here.
When you do make a baby to it, let me know.
There you go.
I'll shake
Yeah,
that
if you're
baby's hand.
responsible, don't get me wrong. It'll be named after one of you guys. I don't know. So, what about like in terms of seriousness? When you think of a band like Green Jelly or Tenacious D, something like that, is that like lending credence to the genre, or is that like you know what I mean?
I would rather choose Zimmer's Hole or Crotch Duster as an example of comedy metal that absolutely rules.
Tell me about those guys.
Zimmer's Hole are a local band with some guys from Strapping Young Lad,
Okay.
who are an absolutely amazing band. Put on a great show. The Heathen basically dresses up in a giant latex cunt outfit,
Right.
and has an
fisted it.
amazing voice. I could only hope to sound like this guy one day.
Right on.
Phenomenal music. Crotch Duster was produced entirely by a guy in a wheelchair somewhere in the States, and it's got to be the funniest musical thing I've ever heard in my life.
Right. So it's like a
That's about
musical
it.
kind of production kind of thing,
Yeah,
like
it's-
theatrical kind of thing.
It could lend itself to theatricality. It's just hilarious. I don't know how to describe it. Go check out Crotch Duster.
You're pretty knowledgeable in your genre overall, like, or just maybe music even in general. Like,
I
how do you
make
find
most
these
of
guys?
this up.
You do. These are all just completely. I'm gonna research all of these band
off
names
the top of my
24
head.
hours a day.
Yeah,
and there's nothing there.
Off the top of my head, yeah, just completely making this all up.
I'm never gonna get sleep again. Thank you. When it comes to like people that don't get it, like people that hear the screaming or whatever, the noise, the loudness, do you guys try to even attempt to pull them in? Is that important at all?
We got a song that addresses that. I wrote some lyrics for an upcoming song that address that quite specifically. Fuck 'em. Is basically what it comes down to. Maybe not fuck 'em, that's a little bit harsh, but if you don't like the music, there's a lot of other music out there.
Right,
there's a lot of music that you could be listening to. Why waste your time with ours? Your energies could be better spent elsewhere.
Right.
If you like it, great, come on in.
Taking them on board if they're coming for the ride.
Come right on in. We got lots of room.
I feel it's important to give people good content. Give them something that's, got, music that's not full of empty calories and all that.
Well, I think you do. Again, you guys do have that, because again, I've seen you live. I've admitted I'm not a metal guy, but you guys have something in this band that transcends that genre barrier. That genre barrier. Yeah. I've written about that in my, internet blog, that kind of thing as well. Because it's true, and it's probably something in the live performance. You guys are honestly kicking ass up there, and it's entertaining to watch for anybody, even if they're not a metal fan. Again, you heard what my wife has to say about that. So we talk a lot about art and music in the show, and how they're kind of together. I'm just wondering if you guys consider what you do, is this art?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
And how so? Like, what kind of defines that for you?
This is
where it starts.
That's art right there.
Yeah.
That, if I had an easel and some paint, right?
Exactly.
Enjoy this moment.
Got
It's
your
the last
beer
one.
koozies on.
Yeah, let's make sure they're all pointed the right way.
Right.
Okay, wait, we have to cover it.
Make sure you hit all the cameras, right?
We
You want
each
to make
cover a
sure
camera?
Everybody
angle-
cover one camera.
I'm looking at this
Beer
one.
koozies. Oh yeah.
Okay. All right, we're good.
Awesome.
Nazdravi.
So tell me about the state of music today. What do you guys think's going on out there? Is it in good shape? Is it in bad shape?
Bad shape.
It's a
Bad shape.
disaster.
Everybody feel the same way?
Well, I mean, there's kind of ups and downs compared to the way it used to be.
Okay.
I mean, like live bands.
How old are you?
What?
The way it used to be, when you were
based
8?
on knowledge, okay?
Tension in the ranks.
Speaking of when I was 8, I did used to listen to Green Jelly, by the way.
Okay.
Going back to
Yep.
what we were talking about.
Yep.
But okay.
Love Little
reference?
Pigs.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't necessarily agree that music's in bad shape. I think it's depending on where you're looking at it. It's always been in bad and good shape.
Okay.
Depends on what you're looking for, really.
Well, in specifics, like there's sort of perks about today, like the internet that we have for getting our music out there. But then there's things like the club scene sort of has taken away from the live scene.
Sure.
Right.
How do you guys find that the clubs in general, I mean, you don't have to name names if you don't want to, but how are they being handled internally these days when you go to actually play a show? Are they being helpful at all? I'm finding not so much from a lot of people right now.
Well, I mean, we can't really get into too many live music venues. Like Railway won't touch us. Not at all.
Is that just a genre thing, or
Well,
did you guys destroy something? No, we didn't destroy anything.
No, we've never had the opportunity to destroy anything.
Okay.
No, but it's tough for metal bands to get shows out here. There's the Rickshaw, there's Pat's every once in a while. That's kind of more.
A little more often, and it's
Yeah.
really low key and small.
And then there's the stalwart of Funky Winker Beans with good old Wendy 13 running.
We didn't ask
running things.
Commodore.
Oh yeah.
That was the Commodore. That's
Have fun with that
Good luck with that
That's not
one.
a hall for,
So would you
Play
guys
some
maybe
jazz.
look to the internet to ever do something like, I don't know, broadcast a concert or something like that? Is that gonna represent the metal sound enough through that medium?
I don't think you would get the right experience.
Right.
I think really I understand the purpose behind live internet concerts and stuff like that, but I think you're missing a really important part of the concert experience.
The energy in the room.
Sure.
Yeah, well, the actual concert.
Yeah.
You
Stink.
need the stink. Yeah, the stink,
Right.
the heat, the
Gotta
other
have it.
people, the community. God
culture.
bless it, the alcohol. You've got the big speakers and the vibrations. You're missing all of that, and that's a big part of metal. Is loud, loud, loud.
Sonic.
You want to feel it.
Chaos.
Yeah. So in that respect, does it translate better in a smaller room as opposed to a bigger venue? What do you guys find for
I like
that?
smaller room.
Yeah?
I like small room too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the sound is a lot tighter, and especially for
Speed.
like for our style of music and for more like death metal and stuff like that, you don't want a giant room. It's going to reverberate. It's going to sound like
Right. Yeah.
so.
Yeah, fair enough. So how far does that go in the small direction? Is that like right down to house party, or is that...
Oh, I love house parties.
There we go.
I love house parties. Some of the best shows I've ever played were at house parties.
You got a story
Our
for
first
us?
show.
Like, you got something? Like, what
first
happens
show.
at a
He's full
Aeterna
of
house
stories.
Oh
party?
yeah, our first show was at the Goaler Ranch. That was
Yeah.
a great show.
Okay.
Our buddies and the Goalers and Zuckus put that one on, and it's a wonderful little room that fits about 15 people uncomfortably.
Okay.
Bunch of worn out gear, and there's large chains suspended from the ceiling. And
Do they explain those?
Someone
No.
collect. Someone. It's someone's way of decorating. I was just over
yeah,
there the other day.
Okay.
our friend
The way he decorates.
our friend Jesse enjoys rusty metal art installations with like some animal skulls in there. I think there's a little bit of that. But mainly rusty metal.
That's quite the environment
So he's
to
got
play in.
giant rusty chains hanging off the ceiling, and we'd kind of take to hanging off of them and screaming at people.
Oh,
It was fun.
No
I
kidding.
enjoyed that place a lot. I would love to play there again.
How many people were you packing into a place like that? Like, how many people got to see
Oh,
something?
man,
It was
they
a big
were-
party when we played.
Yeah, it was just absolutely jammed. There was at least 8 people there.
Nice. Oh, and if they really kind of fanned out, it almost
Yeah,
seemed like
if-
10, right? Like,
Almost, yeah, yeah. It was a great introduction to the Vancouver metal scene.
That's including the band. 8 people.
Yeah.
No.
so Brad, we'll get technical for a little bit here.
Oh.
Tell me about the guitar you're using to go on stage with live. What's your favorite?
What's my favorite?
What do you gravitate towards, and why? Why do you need this thing?
Why do I need this thing? Well, we all need this thing. I don't know. Like, I guess when I became a part of the band, I just, I learned the songs one by one from the Guitar Pro tabs that Cam gave me, and then there was just something I felt I wasn't getting out of it, and so just by freak chance, I just got a 7-string guitar a few months earlier, and I only played it a few times, and then I started to like transpose a bunch of the stuff onto the 7-string, and it just worked really well. So for a while there, I was doing all the 7-string parts, and Cam was still doing the 6-string, and then it wasn't long before he couldn't resist the urge,
Yes.
Right.
and joined up with me.
So you guys are both rocking 7s now?
Yeah, it's so much better.
It's much more.
so much more freedom.
You get the extended range and all that, but like it's sonically, like there's just something different about the sound of it being able to go in that direction. It's something that can't, it doesn't sound the same tuning a 6-string down. That when you do on a 7-string, it's just, I don't know.
You get that extra layer.
You get that extra
Yeah, layering.
sonic
everything.
overdrive to
Yeah.
it that's just, I don't know.
Why don't you
big
tell me,
and
Cam,
awesome.
like, what's it like, to write with a second guitar player? How does that work? How do you guys communicate and work something out?
Well, we sort of, I just sort of sit at home, right? Tab shit out on a tabbing program.
Okay.
I send it out to everyone. They sort of use the parts as a guide, right?
It's a skeleton.
And like
What? Hi.
Oh yeah, keep up. Okay. Anyways, you know, I do write the parts, but Alex and Brad, they sort of alter it to their style and change things up. Again, the final song is different than.
Yeah, so it becomes a little more organic that way. At least, I guess, not so just off the page. Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Like lots of Brad's lead parts that I have made, he changes them quite a bit to suit his style with his whammy bar and everything. He makes it more dynamic in a way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Alex, you're obviously kicking ass in the back here. You've got 2 guitar players to compete with. You've got a front man that's out there kicking ass. You got this beast to deal with as well.
Yeah, Alex.
But I mean, at the end of the day, like, you're holding your own back there. So, like, when these guys are bringing you songs, how do you fit into them, and how do you work with Mike more specifically? Do you have an easy time working with him?
No.
No? Is that why you guys are sitting like as far apart as the?
You got to keep the rhythm separated, you know.
What?
Nothing, just drinky snot.
Did you put? It
Yes.
happened. You succeeded in that mission.
What?
Yeah.
You knew about this?
I mean, I tried to not, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sitting
It'll
here
make
trying
good
not
television.
to laugh.
Relax.
It is. It will.
You actually did that?
Yeah, I did.
Just drink it, come on.
Just drink it. Be a man.
I liked it all.
Be a man.
Yeah, it's no problem. Like, it's easy.
Come on, do
as
it.
far as
Do
your
it.
communication and drums and bass, I mean, you guys are the rhythm section. So.
I don't know, it's like, Mike did to Phil on some parts, I try to match it, or, you know, most of the time I'm backing up, you know, the rhythm part, not so much
I feel it.
not so
play
mu-
and sing.
it's not so much like following the kick or whatever, not like this kind of style of music anyway, so...
So it's more about the feel for you at the
Yeah.
time, right?
Yeah.
About a feeling.
Okay. Now, Mike, how about you when you're in a live situation and you're pounding away? Like, I mean, first of all, you sit higher than any drummer I've seen, like a looming beast over this kit. But like, how do you maintain your focus when you're up there? Because you're playing some pretty complicated stuff.
I'm focusing on my workout, like every day, you know, like keep
You got the
Show 'em the
regimen
guns.
going,
repeating,
eh?
and for me,
Show him the gun show.
You got the gun show?
for me,
the gun
for
show.
me, it's like a workout. So you know, it's pretty much repeating, and then I go and play and enjoy. You know,
Right.
I don't get in focus. I just want to play and enjoying the show. You know? It's for me, it's most important thing.
So it's kind of where you're most
So
excited.
yeah, I
and
just
it just
playing. You know, I feel I know what I have to
I know
play.
what you're doing. Yeah. Word, you're gonna hit me right now.
Bus driver. It's easy, right? So I'm not care about the stuff what I play, what I, you know, it's, I can play on empty bucket too, or on perfect kit. You know?
Right.
I'm not
You give
a
it,
fancy drummer. Has to be everything perfect.
Yeah.
I just sitting, playing, go, show.
Give you a
boom,
pair of
1
sticks
hour,
and it's
okay.
on.
1 hour.
Nice.
Apologizing in
Nice.
advance for having to play on my kit.
After a
Perfect.
And now here to define it in a sonic musical assault, here's Aeterna with some brutal power metal.
That's for the best. Small people? Small people?
One thing I've always kind of struggled to create when developing these interviews is kind of a couple of questions that maybe necessarily the band itself might not agree on. And you've seen that here again today in the interview with Aeterna, through Ruddy's perspective on different things. And I think that debate is always healthy in a band. I think that sparks creativity, and I think it really just promotes information overall. Things are talked out and things are discussed. Something that we all know we don't do enough of today in person. So watching Aeterna do it here in the studio, freaking fantastic. So I just want to say again a huge thank you to Cam, Alex, Brad, and of course Ruddy and Mike from Aeterna for stopping by the studio and laying down an absolutely killer set of music that we just basically wouldn't let stop. So aside from the fact that we locked the doors and wouldn't let them out, they continued to play, and quite willingly it seemed like. So really happy to have those guys. Looking forward to next week, of course, back again on Sunday with Aeterna. What else is there to say? They said it best already. So we'll see you again on Sunday on SBS Live This Week.
So let's start talking shit about the other guys. Dude, have you seen what Brad's wearing? Like seriously, black on black?
Like,
What an asshole.
see when the camera would put, oh, mic right there.
Yeah, they can hear it. Shh.